Hey there, Jeffrey here again from Sephora Pro, and I'm here for a special segment. We as pros are super busy. We're traveling quite a bit, and we know that we ask you to comment and ask questions on our YouTube videos, but we don't always necessarily get a chance to answer all of them. Like, we do try, but getting back to super old videos can be kind of tough for us. So I wanted to take the time to answer some of those outstanding questions that have been lingering in the comment section. And I just first want to start by thanking you guys so much for being interactive with us and, giving us all of the love that you do. It's a really, truly humbling experience to be on this platform and to hear from you guys. And all of the support that you guys have been offering has been awesome. So just know that we love you just as much as you love us. So without further ado, I think I should jump right into the questions. I want to start with an MVP from our comment section. Keisha Anderson, you are the bomb. We always hear you dropping off those comments and letting us know what kind of videos you want to see. So keep up the good work and tell it to all your friends. Like, tell them to comment too. So Keisha asks, which products are great for exfoliation, hydration, and which lipsticks would I recommend? So Keisha, of course, that's a pretty hefty question. For exfoliation on the lips, I really love, there's a new Tarte stick that actually looks like a chubby pencil, and I love that you can just kind of rub that on the lips and exfoliate really quickly. I keep it in my kit because it's like a pencil chubby form. It's easy for the model to use. But we also have a couple other scrubs that I really love. Like, I love the Bite Beauty one because it's all cherry and natural. It's made from cherry seeds. And then I do like the Fresh, they have the sugar lip scrub, which is also really awesome. I think that one's really cool because the brown sugar actually leaves behind a little bit of extra hydration. So if you're, wondering about what products would be great for hydration, that's a great place to start. And then when it comes to hydration on the lips, I have to give a shout out to the OG. Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask is still my jam sauce. Like, it lives next to my bed on my nightstand, and I apply it every night before I go to bed. I love it. It just kind of really intensely hydrates, and when you wake up in the morning, you have fresh lips. So when it comes to lip formulas, I know that we have a ton of options, so it really depends on what you're looking for. But I always love the Clinique Chubby Sticks. I carry that with me on set everywhere I go. I find that it gives it a lot of hydration to the lip with just the right amount of pigment, so it reads really beautifully on camera, and they feel really light and balmy on the lip. You never feel a lot of texture. So that's a go-to formula for me. But if you ever are questioning like what lipsticks would look great on you or what formulas to try, I strongly encourage you to stop by a store and check out Lip IQ, or you can even try on different shades with virtual artists on your phone or on your PC. Okay, so the next question I have is from Dara Davis, and she says, do I have any tips to avoid creasing and highlighting fine lines? So I think that the biggest point of difference is really going to be using products that are softly hydrating first. So prep the skin well and fill it up with water to kind of fill up those fine lines and wrinkles so that the skin is already smooth when you go to lay product. But if you're still feeling like you're getting a lot of texture or crepiness, tip number one is to use very, very little product. So apply in sheer layers, and that'll help you to build up the texture versus getting too much all at once, it's basically like an excess of product on the skin. So when that product moves around, of course it's gonna settle in fine lines and wrinkles. So if you're using a little bit of product, then it has less likelihood of doing that. Let's see. Elizabeth Munoz Ortiz asks, what products do I recommend for older eyes that are beginning to turn crepey? Well, if you watch my video that we have out already with Taruko, my dear friend, I definitely give some shout outs to some products, but I think one of my MVPs for crepey lids is definitely the anti-aging eye primer from Urban Decay. I love it. I really feel like it offers a lot of hydration, smooths out the lid, and it's got like a really soft pink pearl in it, which kind of diffuses light and diffuses imperfections on the lid. It's a really great formula to grab. Let's see. Vivian O asks, what is my trick for tightlining? So you all know I have a couple sayings, and one of them is definitely that I'm on a mission to tightline the world. Woo woo. I do feel like it lifts the lash line, and it's definitely a crucial step. It's an everyday thing for me. But my biggest tip is to always work perpendicular to the lash line. So turn your pencil up and down against the grain of the lashes and sort of work side to side like a windshield wiper. I typically start in the outer corner and slowly work my way in. And then I'm making sure that I'm taking the tip of the pencil and pushing it through the roots of the lashes. So it's almost getting on the lid just a little bit. And that's gonna help to give a really strong tight line and really add some density to those lashes. And last but not least, be sure to use a waterproof formula because you don't want your tight line on your face, right? I have another question from Alex Levitz who says, my skin is always looking glowy and amazing. What products do I use? Okay, so this has been a little, I do hear a lot from you guys and you always talk about my skin and I really appreciate that you're loving my glow. It's kind of like a thing that I'm into. But I love to exfoliate with the Dr. Dennis Gross peel pads. That's definitely a must have for me and I use them every day. I keep them in my medicine cabinet right next to my vitamins and it's the first thing I do every morning. It's that two-step peel that I've always talked about and I actually have a video where I talk for about 7 minutes about that product. So if you don't understand why I love it by the end of that, then I don't know. And then I also really love lots of hydration. So even though I'm kind of normal to oily skin type, I embrace shine. I think that shine really helps to soften imperfections in the skin, gives you a really beautiful glow, and I just typically strategically powder. So I'll kind of mattify in the center of my face, down my T-zone, and leave the rest of my face and just let the shine do its thing, right? Like I let my skin go. I do like to prep with a little bit of oil before I apply my foundation, so I just sort of press that all over. And then when it comes to my foundation, I kind of bounce around. I use some different foundations, but generally it's always a luminous finish for the most part. Let's see. R. De Palma says, what causes the stuff that collects at the corner of your mouth and how can you avoid that? So, lady, really, it's all about dead skin. So make sure that you're exfoliating the surface of the lips before you apply any lip gloss or liquid lipstick because that'll keep that from happening. Basically, as you're talking, all of the breakdown of the product starts to gather in the center of the lips or on the corners, and that's essentially what it is. So make sure that you're exfoliating before you wear your favorite moisturizing lip balm or lipstick, and that'll keep that from happening. So Tamika Wiley asks, when should someone incorporate SPF into their makeup routine? Tamika, you're asking the right person because you know I'm obsessed with skincare. SPF should always be the last step of your skincare routine before your primer. So essentially, it's going to be the very last layer of the skincare routine right before you start applying your makeup products. A lot of makeup products actually have SPF built into them, but I strongly recommend buying an SPF separate because sometimes, like if you're going out at nighttime, you really don't want a lot of SPF in your product because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be taking a lot of photos and that tends to flash back in the camera. So I would strongly suggest finding a great SPF that you can layer after your moisturizer, okay? So Celia She asks, what is my rule of thumb for ordering products in skincare, like serum, toner, moisturizer, etc.? Best practice is always to work from lightest texture to fullest texture. So always gonna cleanse the skin because you're literally washing that off the face. Then move into like essences and toners that are kind of like that watery feel. Then after that, you can apply your serums, which is kind of like that medium, lightweight hydration. And then you can finish with lotions or creams or moisturizers that are gonna kind of give you the most or the fullest texture. And then of course, last but not least, I would finish with an oil because that's gonna really seal in the hydration. Ormush says, I love your handle by the way, Ormush, that's so cute. Can you use a bronzer and contour together or should those be separate looks? If bronzer goes on your cheekbone, does blush also go in the same place? Or can you use the two together? So, Ormush, I have to tell you that I'm a huge fan of sculpting cheeks. I think that Hollywood glow is definitely the way to go. My general rule of thumb is always keep the blush on the apple of the cheek if you can. Highlight and shimmer bronzers should go above the cheekbone, and then matte contour products should always go in the hollow of the cheek. Just to let you know though, I know a lot of our older videos kind of get lost in the shuffle. So be sure to scroll back in the tips and tricks from the studio playlist from Sephora, and you can find out a couple videos where we literally talk in depth about where to place those products. So if you have any other questions after that, hit me on the DM and I'll be more than happy to help you. So Pumpkins and Black Cats asks, by the way, I also love your handle. That's so cute. Your screen name is everything. And I'm a Halloween kid, so like we celebrate that like Christmas in my family. What do you recommend for a no makeup look for concealing acne scarred skin? Well, actually, I think this is a really important topic, Pumpkins and Black Cat. I think that we need to film a video. We'll be looking to do that in the future. But to answer your question right off the bat, I have to say that it's important for you to hydrate the skin first. A lot of times when acne is healing, there's a lot of texture that's left behind. And hydrating the skin with like a lightweight oil-free moisturizer is gonna soften that texture. Then it's important for you to apply your complexion product with a sponge, kind of bounce it on the skin, and that's gonna push any texture down and help you to build coverage. Now, when it comes to formulas, I tend to like kind of like demi-matte formulas because I find that they soften texture and then you can kind of build coverage with them. So a really great one for you to try is Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Foundation. That one I love to build on acne scarred skin because it tends to kind of diffuse imperfections and you can layer the coverage really nicely. And it's waterproof, so it's not gonna move for you. So definitely check that one out. And then also, I know a lot of people out there love the Hourglass Immaculate Finish. That one's really great if you tend to be really oily. And then Tarte Amazonian Clay is another really great formula to grab because all of the Amazonian clay that's in the product is really good for soothing inflammation, and it actually kind of calms down and soothes the breakout a little bit. So check that one out too. So Kimberly Thomas asks, what is the best highlighter for people with large pores? So this is kind of a tricky question, Kimberly, because you can highlight in two ways. You can use matte complexion products like a concealer or a lighter shade of foundation to build like your highlight out, and I think that that might be the smartest option. But if you are looking for something with a little bit of a pearl, I would say use something with a small pearl particle, because then that's gonna keep from accentuating the size of the pores. A really great product to try is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders to set your makeup, and that'll sort of diffuse the pore and actually fill the pore up with a little bit of light, so your skin looks a lot smoother. So you can almost think of that like a photo filter in a compact. So essentially it's gonna blur imperfections in the skin and make you look really smooth in all your selfies. So Norge, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, Norge asks, how long do you have to wait until you layer your next step of skincare? So typically I like to let the skin completely dry down in between if I can. But a general best practice is 1 to 2 minutes, just so long as you're not mixing too much of the product on your skin. So that's pretty much it for me. I did want to take a second and tell you guys a little bit of update with me. I'm currently living in Chicago, but I have some big news. I'm gonna be relocating to the Best Coast, headed to Los Angeles. So if you're in the LA market, I know a lot of you always ask where you can meet us up at. If you're in the LA market, I'll be touring the stores around here. So chances are you might run into me like Century City, Hollywood and Highland, wherever. I'll be all over the place. So hope to see you then. And as always, keep the comments and the questions coming. We love to hear from you guys. And if you love these type of videos, be sure to shout that out in the comment section below too. So that way we can do more of them for you. Maybe we could do it once a month to keep up, or however frequently you guys think you want to hear them, let us know. So until next time, thanks for all the love, and I love you guys just as much. So I'll see you soon. Ciao for now.